And I was a young businessman. I had two partners that were much older than I was. One was a really, really centered guy, really brilliant, super wealthy guy. The other guy's really successful guy and super passionate. Like almost completely different personalities, but both brilliant guys. We're all in business together. And without going through the boring details, we had an opportunity, and we're in a negotiation with another company. And together, 1 + 1 could equal 4. And so you normally go through negotiation, goes back and forth, and I'm a young guy and I don't know better, and I'm still this way. It's like, I don't need everything on the table. I'm happy to give a bunch to you. There's plenty. My whole thing is let's make the pie bigger, not scarcity. Oh my God, I got to get my thing. And so, the negotiation was going back and forth nowhere. And I finally said, look, let me just tell you what we got here. And I put all our cards on the table. I even showed them our costs. And my two partners looked at me like, what the hell are you doing? I said, let's just make a fair deal for both sides. We're all going to win from this. Let's not do this circle thing. Let's just cut to the chase. And, it sounds nice on the surface, but that'd be if someone was playing win-win with you. And this group was playing win-lose. And unfortunately, without giving you all the gory details, they took what I gave them and turned it on us. And because I give it to them, if we didn't do the deal now, they could abuse and take advantage of some of the things we built. It would actually hurt us severely in the company. And they started to do this. And one of my partners, the really passionate one, I was pissed off. Like, we've been totally honest. We're opening this up. We all can win. And these guys are doing this. So I was pissed off, and I felt angry and mad as hell. Those 3 words were the words that went through him. I don't think I said it out loud. This pisses me off, because we took a break. I said, I can't even believe this bullshit. It's pissing me off. I said, this makes me mad as hell. I'm so angry. And my buddy, the one who's really passionate, he goes, I'm going to kill him. I mean, he's going, I'm enraged, I'm furious. I mean, what they did is like they're trying to destroy our business. They're trying to kill our kid. I'll kill him. I'm like, calm down. It's not that bad. Have you ever been on somebody and you're mad and somebody's madder and it changes your state? Who knows what I'm talking about, right? So I'm trying to calm him down, which kind of calms me down. But in the middle of it, I looked at my other partner, and he's a super, super smart, wealthy, wise guy, and he doesn't even look slightly upset, which kind of pissed me off that he wasn't pissed off. Like, at one point I said, don't you realize what they did? And he goes, don't you understand? They killed our child. They're destroying our business. We got to kill them. I'm like, calm down. Calm down. And he looks at me, and I'll never forget. He looks over and he goes, yeah. He goes, I'm a little peeved. I said, peeved? I've never heard anybody even use that word, peeved. Do you not understand that? Calm down, right? And in the middle of it all, I was like peeved. It struck me so weird. And he smiled. And I thought, is he being a phony? And he goes, no. I said, come on, doesn't it piss you off? He goes, it's a little annoying. Annoying? I even don't like the word annoy. It's annoying to say the word annoy. I'm pissed off that he's using annoyed, right? I said, I don't understand. He goes, of course I understand. What they did is wrong. What they did is terrible. But, it's a little annoying. And I said to him, I realized in that moment I had never seen him really upset. And I said, do you ever really get upset? He goes, it's pretty rare. And I said, well, what about that time? I tried to think of a time that I knew was really horrible. And he's a very wealthy guy. And so what about the time when that IRS guy came? There was an IRS agent that came out, and people are people. Most IRS agents are good people, but this guy hated that my friend was very wealthy. He was doing very well. And so he resented him, and so he manipulated things. He lied about some things. My friend eventually won 3 years in court, and he won against the IRS because this guy did wrong things. But can you imagine 3 years, some of your stuff confiscated, going through it, spending money and time? I mean, would that piss you off? Who'd be pissed off by that, a little bit angry by that, right? My other friend said, I'd kill him. I'm like, calm down, right? Don't be furious, right? He goes, yeah, I was a little tinkled. Tinkled was the third word. He was tinkled. I said, come on. He goes, yeah, Tony. I said, why don't you get upset? And then I got the really cool answer. He said, because if you get upset, you lose control, and the other guy wins. I was like, wow. I think I do lose control. Not as much as my furious friend over here, but I don't think I've ever been tinkled when someone's done something that terrible, or peeved or annoyed. And in the middle of the whole thing, I'll never forget, I thought to myself, wait a second, God is giving me a gift right now. There's a pattern here, because my brain's so wired to look for patterns, right? Because I know everything in your life's a pattern. Change a pattern, change your life. Pattern of focus, pattern of language, right? Pattern of physiology. And I was like, wow, we all had the, now think about this. We all had the same event, meaning it was going to affect all three of us really negatively. So imagine this material, we all the same material hit us. But we all had a different set of cookie cutters of language we use when there's something really upsetting. And my pattern at that stage of life was pissed off, angry, mad as hell. So I took the dough, so to speak, that was given to me and chunked into those kind of cookies. My other friend, his words he uses all the time for anything upset him is furious, right? Enraged. Is that going to up or lower your biochemistry of upset? It's going to up it. I'm going to kill him. Pretty intense metaphor, right? And then my other buddy's taking the exact same experience, in his habitual language for anything upset is peeved, annoyed, tinkled, right? And just even thinking it made me laugh. Tinkled's such a silly, stupid thing, right? Peeved. And I thought to myself, I would never use those words. And then I thought to myself, and I've never had his reaction of calmness. Something to think about. And that's the day when I began to realize the words that you habitually use, we all have habits of words, are the emotions you habitually experience. Because you attach whatever life experience, you attach those words and you go into that biochemistry. The words you attach to your experience, jot it down, the words you attach to your experience become your experience. So you've got to become conscious of your TV, your transformational vocabulary, and transform it. So you know what I did? I trained myself. I said, I'm going to make this fun. Next time something's really starting to piss me off, I'm going to go, this really peeves me, right? You know? And what happened is I literally wired it, right? It's not enough to understand it, remember? I wired it over and over and over again. And then one time it happened, I started feeling myself like starting to ready to explode. I went, this really peeves me. And I started to laugh. It broke my own what? Pattern. Changed my state completely. And I remember what he said. You lose control, the other guy wins. Let me stay centered here. And for the rest of my life, I still can get angry or upset, but I don't have that intensity because I don't go there, because he uses a lot of different language now that breaks the pattern. So how many of you realize there's some emotions in your life that don't serve you, some negative emotions, anger, frustration? Remember I told you when I got kicked out, my dad got kicked out, I was on my own, I was depressed all the time. I talked about how depressed I was, so I was depressed. And then one day I was like, that word is coming out of my vocabulary. And I told you the other day, it's true. I've had unbelievable ups and downs in my life. I had times when things looked really rough. And it didn't matter how rough it was, I've never gone back to that place. I've never been depressed. I've been angry, I've been sad, I've been overwhelmed, I've been stressed, but never depressed. Because I chose to take that from my vocabulary, and it took that emotional pattern out of my life. I know that sounds overly simplistic, but your language hypnotizes you. What does a hypnotist do? They use words to alter your state. What do you do? Words to alter your state. Can your words change other people's states? Yes or no?